Come on, go. No, come here. Come here. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's see. All right, guys, stand by for a second here. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments section. I'm going to get Facebook Live going in just a second. And then away we will go. This is Meteorologist Andrew Stutzke here, by the way. You're not going to see me on the screen because I am not actually at the station or in the studio right now. I'm actually in Sterling. So hopefully you can hear me. Again, if you can, let me know in the comments section, and then we'll proceed. I'm going to give folks a couple of minutes to kind of come in to the live stream so you can see what's going on, what we're expecting, all that good stuff. Hi, guys. There we go. There I am in the corner. Again, I'm going to give folks just a second to come on in. Let me know if you can hear me. I just heard myself on my phone, so that means we have audio. Very good. Excellent. So I'm going to give folks a couple of minutes again to come into the live stream with me here for a second. We'll make this brief. I'll just go over the threats and the timing for the storms that we are expecting coming in for later this evening into the overnight hours. Getting a couple of you saying you can hear me. Excellent. Very good. Probably not a bad idea either, if you can, to share this video. I want to get as many people as we can to see this, because this is a threat coming in after dark. So tonight's storm is actually a little bit more dangerous because, again, these are going to be coming in after the sun sets. And this is not going to be something that you're going to be easily able to see in terms of should we get a couple of tornadoes in here too. And I am going to talk about that as well. There's some very strong wording coming from the National Weather Service in their discussion just a couple of hours ago, now kind of really grabbing onto the threat that we could see a couple of strong tornadoes late this evening into the overnight hours. So again, if you can give this video a share, go ahead and do that. I want to reach as many people as possible because this is quite a dangerous situation that we've got coming in here for later tonight. So I'm going to give folks just a couple of more minutes to come in, and then we'll dive into the details here and all that good stuff. But certainly looks like it's going to be an active evening. No worries, though, in terms of storm coverage back at the station. We've got meteorologist Efridge Davis on standby, and also meteorologist Morgan Strackbine will be coming in as well. So both ladies will be holding down the fort this evening. I'm going to get some rest, so I'm ready to go for GMQC tomorrow. A little bit of a programming note for you as well. There will be no 4:30 a.m. GMQC tomorrow because of the Queen's funeral and the coverage associated with that. We are only going to have a 5 and 6 a.m. newscast tomorrow, but certainly if there's any damage, we'll certainly let you know during GMQC tomorrow. Hopefully there's no damage to talk about, but given some of the ingredients that are coming together tonight, it certainly looks like that could be the case for us here. So I think we got a good group in here right now. Let's go ahead and we'll get started. Let's start first with the threats and what we're facing. The timing on this, right off the bat, this is going to be after dark. This is going to be from 7 o'clock this evening until midnight, running from west to east. And the highest risk right now for severe weather, including tornadoes, a couple of which could be strong, is going to be for the Quad Cities and points south. So Interstate 80 and points to the south, you have the highest risk for that stuff. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But this is a threat track level 3 out of 5. So this is an enhanced risk, meaning numerous severe thunderstorms are possible. And this is what that risk looks like when you plot it on the map. So there you see the darker red color. That's where we're expecting the strongest storm activity and the most widespread storm activity to take place after 7 o'clock this evening. Again, it runs right along and south of Interstate 80 on both sides of the river. And just because Princeton isn't in this, for example, you see that there, that doesn't mean that you're out of the woods by any means. I think even Princeton and as far north as Clinton and Sterling Rock Falls need to be on guard as we go through this evening. So right now, if you're in the dark red, you're in the likely category. That's that threat track level 3 out of 5 for the severe storms coming in this evening. This is the most concerning to me right now because, again, this is coming in after dark. This is not something you're going to be able to go outside and see coming towards you. And this is probably one of the highest tornado probabilities that I think we've seen so far this year. That is a 10% probability, but notice those little dash marks, the black dash marks that are going through there. That means the potential for some significant tornadoes. And how the Storm Prediction Center defines that when they issue this outlook is tornadoes that have a strength of EF2 or greater. And those are the kind that can really cause a significant amount of damage. So those of you that are especially in the orange and in the red, and also in that hatch mark area where you see the black lines going vertically up and down, you really need to remain on guard tonight. You need a way to receive warnings, actually multiple ways, whether it's your smartphone, whether you're watching us on air, because we will, of course, break into programming should we need to as these storms roll through. And you also want to make sure you have those notifications enabled on your smartphone. If you just recently did that new iOS update, you may want to go through and check your notification settings. I just noticed some of mine actually got reset. So not a bad idea to get those, go through your notifications, make sure they're enabled for the Storm Track 8 app, the emergency alerts, make sure those are enabled and ready to go. Because again, this is a more dangerous situation. Some of these storms are going to be coming through, especially on the Illinois side, after many of us have gone to bed for the night. So you need a way for yourself to be awakened for a warning should one be issued for your area, and you need to take immediate shelter. So this is the tornado probability again. Notice it's highest as you go through Muscatine, down through Washington, by Aledo, Viola, through Monmouth, Burlington, just near Galesburg. Galesburg, you might as well put yourself in this. Macomb, and all the way down to Fort Madison. Again, if you're in the red, that's the highest probability, and that's also where we're expecting that we may find one or two strong, long-tracked tornadoes that come through later this evening. Let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. So this is what we call the strong tornado probability map. This puts it on a scale of basically 0 to 10. I think anything above 2 is definitely something to pay attention to. And you notice that the strong tornado probability is highest exactly in that zone that I just showed you. So this is our future track model that's trying to depict if we were to get a tornado, where the probability for a strong tornado would be this evening. And you see that runs south of Interstate 80, especially on the Iowa side of the river, from that area of Muscatine through Washington, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, and on the Illinois side, it goes through Galesburg. So that's at 8, 9 o'clock this evening. Once we get past 10 o'clock, that threat will move over to the Illinois side of the river, and it does start to diminish some, because what's likely going to happen is we're going to go from individual storms, which pose the greatest threat for tornadoes when they're by themselves, to a squall line, where all these storms are kind of congealing into a line. So the tornado threat will decrease eastward with time. I don't think it's highest on the Illinois side of the river by any means. I think it's highest on the Iowa side of the river, and again, especially along and south of Interstate 80. Let's go into next after that, the hail threat, because the hail threat is going to be our second highest threat as we go into tonight. And there again, you see those solid black lines running from north to south. That's where we can see some significant hail reports, meaning hail of 2 inches or more in diameter. If you're in the yellow zone, which includes Maquoketa, Clinton, Savannah, Sterling Rock Falls, Geneseo, Princeton, Tipton through Monticello, you are in the zone where we could potentially see, again, 2-inch plus diameter hail. It is most likely for us here right in the Quad Cities through Geneseo, Kewaunee, Galesburg, Aledo, Muscatine, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, Monmouth, Macomb, right straight down through Peoria. Very significant hail is possible in those areas that could cause significant damage. When we talk about 2-inch diameter hail, that's the size of tennis balls. And there you see it on the chart there. Easily broken car windows and significant crop damage. Even slightly smaller hail than that, golf ball size hail. We've seen that before here. Exterior paint damage to your homes, dents in vehicles, smaller than that, walnut-sized roof damage. So some of us could be seeing that with storms that develop tonight. Now, the hail damage is going to be early on. I think the hail damage will settle down once we get close to 11 o'clock midnight. By then, it's going to transition into a damaging wind threat, and here's what that looks like. Where you see the purple area, or fuchsia, whatever color you want to call it, down there towards Galesburg, Burlington, and Macomb, and Monmouth, that's where we're likely going to see some wind gusts top 70 miles an hour later on this evening. In the blue area, most likely looking at 60 to 70 miles per hour with the winds that come in a little bit later. But initially, again, the main threat early on when these storms start developing is going to be tornadoes and large hail. And then eventually later tonight, that storm threat will transition to more of a damaging wind threat. So let's recap again, and let me show you what it looks like on Future Track as we take you hour by hour. There you see again the dark red zone is a threat track level 3 out of 5. And here's 8:30 and what the radar is likely going to be looking like as we go through this evening. So these storms are rapidly going to start developing in east central Iowa. We'll get them here into the Quad Cities and points west after the 8 o'clock hour. Those will continue until 9 o'clock, and then after 9, we race those off to the east quite quickly as well, too. But notice we could see a little bit more development after that. So it's going to be a very fluid situation. Again, these are going to be moving pretty rapidly. They're also going to have a lot of threats with them, including tornadoes, as we go through this evening into the overnight hours. In addition to that, there is also going to be some heavy rain in areas southwest of the Quad Cities where you needed the rain most. Well, we got the heaviest rain overnight and early this morning. It looks like you're going to see another round of that with these storms coming in tonight, perhaps as much as an additional 3 inches, depending on where these storms lay out and how quickly they move. So here's what you need to know in order to stay safe tonight. 1, enable the push alerts on your phone if you've got the News 8 app, the Storm Track 8 app, or make sure you've got the emergency alerts also turned on for your cell phone. If you have a NOAA weather radio, perfect thing you can have. One of these guys right here, leave it on. Make sure the alerts are set to be on as well. This will awaken you at night if a warning is issued for your area. I can promise you we are going to break into programming when we need to for coverage tonight. Thankfully, we don't have any sporting events going on. It looks like it's normal programming. But generally speaking, if there's a tornado warning in the area, we're going to be on the air, and we're going to stay on the air until that tornado warning is either expired, canceled, or there's no longer a threat. Also, if we notice one of these storms with extremely large hail is going to be coming into the area, we will also be on the air and stay on air until that threat is passed, in addition to winds that are 70 miles an hour or greater. So that's our plan for coverage for this evening. There is no beast this evening because it is going to be after dark. It is extremely dangerous and also somewhat irresponsible to chase after dark. We definitely don't want to put any lives in danger there. Also, another word of advice, do not wait for outdoor warning sirens to seek shelter. those sirens are made for folks that are outside. They're not made for those of us in our homes. So just because you don't hear a tornado siren definitely doesn't mean you shouldn't not be taking cover, especially if there's large hail coming through and there's wind with it. That could also be a very, very dangerous situation. So again, key to your safety tonight is just make sure you have a way to receive warnings, especially for those of you that have an early bedtime like myself. We got to wake up a little early tomorrow. Make sure you have something that's going to wake you up in case this stuff comes in late. Because again, the timing is after 7 o'clock tonight, and it goes all the way until midnight. Just because the sun is set does not mean that we're going to be losing the dynamics to get some of these storms to really start taking off later on tonight. So here's the timing, a reminder. If you're on the Iowa side of the Mississippi River, along and south of Interstate 80, it's going to be between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock this evening. If you're on the Illinois side, including the immediate Quad Cities, this is going to be an event that moves in between 9 and midnight. So again, it's a little more dangerous because these storms are coming in later tonight when most of us are going to be asleep or likely not even thinking about how am I going to wake up if one of these warnings is issued. So it's absolutely crucial that you have a way to receive warnings tonight, especially if you're not going to be staying up and waiting for these storms to come in. So again, there's a brief little kind of overview of what this looks like on Future Track, and most of this coming in right after the 7 o'clock hour. Initially, the storms will be broken up, but then they're going to come in as a solid line as they start sweeping off to the east and parts of Illinois, especially once you get past Galesburg, Kewanee, into Princeton. That's where we're going to start to see the damaging wind threat really start to ramp up. So very strong wording again coming out of the National Weather Service, especially when it comes to the tornado potential. I'm actually going to pull that up here for a second, and I'm going to read it word for word so you can see exactly kind of how they're saying we need to kind of take these storms coming in this evening. Again, this is probably one of the more robust severe weather event threats anyway that we've seen so far this summer. And a reminder that this is definitely our second severe weather season, that's for sure. So it's not too surprising that we're getting this kind of activity this time of year, but something we haven't seen a whole lot of this year, that's for sure. So let me see. In fact, they actually just updated this now as of 3 o'clock here, their discussion. So the key messages coming in from the National Weather Service just moments ago. All hazards of severe weather are expected this evening into the overnight hours. Several tornadoes, possibly strong, giant hail, greater than 2 inches in diameter, and damaging winds. In addition, there is a flash flood threat in our southern counties. The severe threat will ramp up after dark, which makes it potentially more dangerous. And please have multiple ways to receive warnings. So again, I am echoing the exact same thing. You need to have a way to receive warnings later tonight as this stuff moves through. It's going to be coming in after dark, and for some of you, it will not be arriving until after 10, 11 o'clock this evening, and you need to have a way to make sure that you can get warnings. So again, if you can, share this video with the most people you can. This is a pretty significant threat coming into the region tonight. It is likely that we're going to see at least some type of severe weather, but in terms of how strong this weather is going to be, the potential is there that this could be quite a dangerous night. So again, we do plan to have coverage. If we need to break into programming, we're going to do that. Meteorologist Etheridge Davis and meteorologist Morgan Strackbine will be in studio this evening. They're both there, ready to provide coverage as these storms move through. Again, a very serious threat evolving for this evening, especially because of this right here, what I've got on your screen. This is the tornado probability that we're looking at. So the further south and west you are of the Quad Cities, the more at risk you are for seeing not only the tornado threat, but also some significant tornadoes, including those rated EF2 or higher. And that is definitely some serious business. Anything rated EF2, those are winds of 111 to 135 miles per hour. That causes considerable damage. We're talking significant damage to structures, whole roofs ripped off of houses, interior frame homes damaged, small and medium trees are uprooted with EF2 tornadoes, and weak structures such as barns, mobile homes are completely destroyed. So, again, if you have a mobile home, in terms of what your living situation is, especially if you live in that red area that I've got on the screen here, if you live in a mobile home, may not be a bad idea right now to just plan on spending the night with a friend or relative in terms of what we're going to be seeing with this stuff coming in tonight. So let's see what happens as these storms start to develop. Again, if you live in a mobile home, probably not the best idea to be spending the night there tonight in the red area, from Galesburg through Washington, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, south of Muscatine, Monmouth, Macomb. Definitely make sure that you have a way to get out of there for sure in terms of what it looks like right now. Jason has some good advice. Turn the volume up on the weather radio. Absolutely. That is definitely the thing that you want to do if you need to, if you have one of those coming in for tonight. So that's what we're looking at. Again, just wanted to give everyone a heads up in terms of the dynamics and everything coming in. Again, our strong tornado probability on our future track model lines up pretty nicely with what the Storm Prediction Center is thinking in terms of the risk for significant tornadoes this evening. There you see again the highest values right through Muscatine, Washington, Mount Pleasant, Burlington, and then that's going to slowly shift to the east and decrease as we go through the evening and then transition into a damaging wind threat as we go later on tonight. So there you see again the hail probability. It is highest, Quad Cities and points to the south. But notice even the yellow area, that's got that black hash mark through it, that black north to south line. So even if you're in the yellow area, which includes Clinton and Sterling Rock Falls, all the way north to Monticello and Maquoketa and Savannah, you could see large hail as well. So plan ahead right now. Get the really fragile lawn ornaments inside. Also make sure you have your truck and your SUV, your cars inside if you can too, or underneath the carport that we're going to be seeing that. I'll answer a couple of quick questions here, and then I'll hop off and we'll let you guys go for the rest of the evening. And again, we'll have coverage should we need to break in. Efforts Davis and meteorologist Morgan Strackbiner are going to be holding down the 4-pack of the studio this evening. I'm going to get some rest and ready to go and see what light brings for tomorrow morning. So that's what we've got going on right now. So let me scroll through a couple of these really quick. I'm going to put this back on the first slide because it shows you the timing and also the threats that we're expecting. I'm going to put the future radar on there too, and we'll just let that loop so you can see exactly what we're expecting in terms of the storm coverage and the timing for your particular area. So let's see who we've got. Everybody is hearing me. That's excellent. Sebastiana, always on our Facebook Live. Nice to see you, friend. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're definitely concerned about tornadoes, especially south and west of the Quad Cities. After 7 o'clock for sure, up until about midnight. And then I think after midnight, the tornado threat will quickly be dropping here. Let's see. I hope it misses our area too. I definitely don't want to wake up to any reports of damage or anything like that. I hope that most of this will be out. We won't be having the beast out this evening because it is going to be after dark. It's very dangerous to chase after dark for sure. I'm not a fan of chasing after dark because you can't see anything. So the beast, we're not going to be having that out. But if we have some damage to see, we will likely have that out tomorrow. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Yeah, hello, Melissa from Peoria. You're definitely included in that threat zone, that's for sure. More of a damaging wind threat, though, as you get over there. A lot of people in there. Jeff's asking about the other channel in town. That was yesterday. We didn't need any kind of a headline for yesterday, that's for sure. Yeah, let's hope we have a good, safe storm. Somebody's trying to start a channel war. I'm a little biased, so I'm not going to comment on that. And let's see. Ooh, Bears-Packers play tonight and Sunday night, except that's not on our channel. I think that's on the other station. So we're not going to have any interruptions in sports coverage on our station tonight because there is none. It's regular programming for a Sunday night. Tyler's wondering when the storms are going to be hitting Davenport. I think right about 7, 8 o'clock, Tyler, for the timing on that right now. Moline, similar timing, 7, 8 o'clock for Teresa. Bettendorf, Tony, you can expect pretty much the same thing. The threat for tornadoes, large hail, greater than golf ball size, potentially up to tennis ball size, and winds up to 60 miles an hour. Tyler, if we get a watch, I think it's going to be after the 6, 7 o'clock hour this evening. Lindsay, Roseville is definitely after 8 o'clock. Lori, we're going to try to have streaming on Facebook. I know our digital manager is going to be on shift tonight. So if we break into programming, you can likely count on us having streaming on Facebook as well. And also YouTube Live too, which some of us are wondering. So Galesburg, there's a question there. Mary Ann wondering about timing there. I think it's going to be after 8 o'clock for Galesburg, the way things look right now. And with that, I think we're all caught up. And my battery's about to die on my laptop, so I don't have much time left with you guys. So again, just to reiterate, Make sure you have a way to receive warnings. We've got you covered back at the station. Effridge and Morgan are going to be there this evening. We'll break into programming if we need to. Of course, our rule is if there's a tornado warning, when there's a considerable threat, we're going to break in and we're going to stay in until that threat goes away. Same goes with hail. If we've got large hail entering a big populated area, we are going to break in for that as well. And of course, winds over 70 miles an hour. So again, timing on this, 7 o'clock to midnight, the highest threat for that large hail and those strong damaging tornadoes, south and west of the Quad Cities, along and south of Interstate 80. This will turn into a damaging wind threat as it crosses the river and goes into Illinois after 8, 9 o'clock this evening. Please make sure you have a way to receive warnings, whether it's your weather radio or your cell phone, and we are going to keep a sharp eye on that radar as these storms come through this evening. Thanks for joining me here for the Facebook Live and also the YouTube Live. If you know of somebody that would benefit from this, go ahead and give it a share. Again, it's a dangerous situation because this stuff is coming in after dark. You're not going to be able to look outside and say, oh, there's a tornado in the distance, because you're not going to be able to see it. Nor should you be doing that anyway. But, we're in the Midwest. When there's tornado sirens, you can find the whole population of the town out on their front porch. That's just kind of how we do things around here. So, again, dangerous because it's coming in after dark. But once we get past midnight, I think the threat is going to be quickly winding down, and we'll see what daylight brings. But thank you guys again for coming into the live stream this evening. And that would certainly be wise advice again. Make sure you have a way to receive warnings tonight, ready to go. If you live in a mobile home, especially in this area that I showed you guys again, just to reiterate one more time, that area right there in the fuchsia, the hot pink, the red, whatever color you want to call it, may be a good idea to find alternate plans for this evening, or if you can't, you need to have a way to make sure that you're seeking significant shelter should a tornado warning be issued for your area, especially in that area down towards Washington, south of Muscatine, near Aledo, into Monmouth, Burlington, and Macomb, Fort Madison, Keokuk, all those areas with the threat for a strong tornado or two. That's EF2 greater in intensity as we go through this evening. We'll keep an eye on the radar again. Be ready for some watches and warnings coming through this evening. Fingers crossed we don't get anything too bad, but the potential is certainly coming together, and the National Weather Service agreeing with me. Very strong wording coming out of the National Weather Service late this afternoon in terms of the threat coming through this evening. So stay safe, stick with us. We'll definitely be tracking these storms as they move through, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning on GMQC.